Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are here to talk about our school boundary process. We started that this week and want to give you an update of kind of where we are with that because that's an important thing to our district. So, Mr. Stauffer, before we begin, maybe we should add some background to it. How did we get to this week? Because we did hold some community meetings this week. Had a great turnout, by the way. Really appreciate everybody who came out. Talk to us about how those committees were formed.
Sure. Love to do so. And again, just echoing your sentiments, thank you for all the community members that came out and participated. It was a wonderful sight to see the last couple of days. But jumping back, we had an opportunity after we received the charge to reboundary the school district from the school board. We put out a survey or a form for our community to fill out if they were interested in participating. Part of our charge, too, was to really heavily lean on our community, which we wanted to do as well. So we looked at a 2-to-1 ratio of 2 community members and students to 1 staff member to help out that process. So that was the nooks of where we started. And then we sent out the survey or the form and got all the feedback. And we left that open for a little over a week to get enough volume built in. And to be honest, I was surprised. We were hoping to have about 60 to 70 community members participate. We ended up with over 100 and roughly about 120 is where we ended up. So a wonderful showing.
So you had to live within our community to be a part of that. And then we did have more staff members than we could participate on those. So a couple of our staff members weren't able to make it, but overall we had a large turnout.
We did, yeah.
And great input from that.
You're absolutely right. That we had a little bit larger number of staff, but that was, again, our purpose is to have more community members on that. And so we made sure that we kept within those ratios.
So then this week we had 3 meetings. We had a meeting at Nampa High on Monday night, and then we had a meeting at Skyview Tuesday afternoon, and then a meeting Tuesday evening at Columbia. Talk to us about what happened in those meetings.
Sure. So the first meeting at Nampa High, we incorporated all of the candidates or all the community members that lived inside the Nampa High school boundary. So they were all brought in together. The current boundaries. They were brought in together so that we had some neighborhoods that could have those discussions and work together for a boundary. So we compiled 24 groups. Out of those 24 groups, each one of those groups sat down for that period of time, received some instruction from our third-party vendor who is helping us through this process, and then they engaged in the work of rebounding and working with the tools that had been provided using maps, using Excel spreadsheets, and also GPS systems to really define what would be the best outcome for the school district. So first night, we had 24 different variations of the school boundary maps done. On Tuesday, we had the Columbia and Skyview boundaries. Their representatives from each one of those schools also did the same work. They sat down and they worked through putting together the boundary that best met their needs and also the needs of the community. So all in all, we had over 45 maps that were accomplished or put together for us.
And I think it was a great process because you could really see the groups as they worked about how they would place certain neighborhoods and students in certain schools and how they had to really try to balance out our district so that all of our educational benefits could benefit each student. Great stuff. So now that you have, it looks like we have, roughly 40, 50 variations of our boundaries, how are they going to be determined what ultimately becomes our boundary and goes in front of our school board to make that decision?
Yeah, perfect question. With all those variations and the commonalities that they'll have found, our third-party company will take the 3 highest options that show all those commonalities, and then we'll start and put together a survey for parents to look at those 2 to 3 new variations and provide more input. And that will most likely happen around the 11th of March is when we're targeting to send that out to the community. And we're going to leave it open for about a week, a little bit over a week. On top of that, we're going to invite back our third-party company, whose name is HPM, and they are going to have 2 community nights, both on March 18th and March 19th, where the community can come back in, now seeing some of those variations that are up, and provide more feedback on the pluses and minuses of each one of those maps. And they'll collect all that data for us again, and then we will then take a look at all the information, compile it, and we'll take an iteration of those to the board sometime the first week or so of April for them to be able to make the decision on which one best fits the Nampa School District.
So they're going to take those, they're going to synthesize those, provide a couple of options, send out a survey to folks, and then have a couple of community nights where folks
In
can
person,
provide their
yep.
in-person input on that.
Yep.
And again, I think the decision we're looking is sometime in early April to be able to present that to our school board. Well, Mr. Stauffer, I want to thank you for sharing that information today. Really, again, going out to our folks. Thanks for coming out and thanks for putting that input. Please be on the lookout for those options about what the boundaries might look like in the survey. And then again, just remind you, we do have some community nights coming up that we would love to have you come attend and provide some input about what our boundaries might look like. Thanks again.